Before we get into my very first in-person interview, I would like to remind you guys, if you like this type of new content, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, and hopefully in the future I will start doing more interviews. If you want to see what's up next, please go ahead again, like and subscribe, and let's get on with the interview. Welcome back to HwaitingRadio, and welcome to my very first interview. And let's go ahead and bring in our guest. Ethan is a new friend of mine, and he came to me with a really cool idea. And you guys will definitely see it and hear it at the end of this episode, so continue to watch at the very end. So, Ethan, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit to everyone?
And yeah, it's been very, very exciting. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, my favourite group is FX.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
That's a little teaser. I'm a multi-stan, so not just one group.
Me too. High five, virtually.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. All right, because there's not many multi-stans. There's always those like stan people. Like one group?
Through actually doing the documentary that we talked about, I realised there's a lot less than what I thought, which is quite weird. Usually, I think on Twitter there's a lot of one group stans. I always try to force people into standing other groups. Not particularly groups that I like, but just other groups in general. Because I think, obviously through doing Kpop radio, I listen to a lot of different groups, which is why I don't say that I stan a lot of groups, but I listen to a lot of them, because I find it quite hard to have all the time to listen to all the great groups that are out there, because there's so many, I feel.
Right, they're missing out. Alright, so before we get into your little project, let's go ahead. I know you gave them a teaser just a second ago. Tell me, who is your favorite group or your top three? Because I know it's hard to pick just one.
Okay, so you said group. I'm more of a solo artist person. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel like that's something not many people say, but I do love my solo artist. My top three would have to be FX, who I first listened to back in 2015. And I absolutely fell in love with straight away. And then my favourite boy group is Day 6. For very different reasons. Recently I find their music absolutely brilliant. And I'd say the third group, maybe Card. I really, really love their music. I love their style. They come out with such different stuff. But there's so many different groups like Sister, who I listened to a very long time. They've been probably listening to since 2016, BTS. So there's a lot of different groups. I say the third one's not very sure on my top three, but my top two are very clear, I feel.
And that's on multi-stan. You said that you got into K-pop in 2014. Is there a group that has disbanded that you wish would come back during that time?
Sister, it's summer. Please come back. I need another summer song. Soyu, you're
yes.
amazing. I do love Soyu. She's absolutely amazing. 4 Minute, please come back.
Brown 4 Minute.
Brown Eyed Girls. I know you had to come back last year, but some more would be very nice. CM Blue, please come back from the army very soon. I don't know. K Will is one of my favourite solo artists. I know he still kind of releases the regularity of like a lot more. Davichi. Recently, Bubblegum 4, who I would really like to come back because I honestly find their music just so amazing. But yeah, and obviously FX, please come back, I beg.
Oh yes, yes on FX. Oh, I miss them so much. Along with 4 Minute. Okay, so you told me that you were studying media and communications, radio. So I wanted to ask, what got you interested or inspired to do radio slash like podcast?
So I guess what mainly got me into radio is listening to a lot of music. So it's kind of cliche, but before K-pop, I never really used to listen to music as much. I'm the youngest of three in the family, so it's kind of like when you're the youngest, you kind of listen to what your brothers and sisters listen to. So I never really used to listen to stuff, but then I kind of got into K-pop, and it kind of changed my whole perception of music. And then I started studying media. I wanted to be a journalist. I went to school to do it, and they didn't teach journalism at all. So I got in a radio studio, and I kind of just liked the balance between trying to tell a story and trying to play music, and it was kind of like a really nice balance, and I just started doing it, and that's how I started my K-pop show. And I've been in sports, so I've been doing some sports stuff as well, and it's kind of like, it was just something fun, and it's just kind of evolved from there into this big thing now that takes up every weekend, do it every Friday, so it's just kind of really nice to do, and I just really enjoy it.
Nice, nice. That's really cool. I don't really hear a lot of people be interested in radio, but being in the K-pop sort of industry, I made a lot of K-pop radio friends, so it's good to have another one. Can you tell us a little bit of what you do, like your radio show?
So we like to play recent hits, so I say mainly 70% of it is more recent music from the past week. So I kind of like to keep it vibrant. I like to play different tunes, so probably Day 6 feature every single show. I apologise if you're not into Day 6. I might have to recommend you don't listen to my show because they're mentioned every week. There's a lot of like Korean rap in there, hip hop, some R&B. Because it's kind of late, I kind of like to play a lot of chilled out songs inside the evening, but it's kind of a mixture between old K-pop songs. So sometimes you've got some Taeyang in there, some Big Bang, some FX, and we'll mix it up with like Sam Kim, who obviously does a lot of OST songs. And I do like to put OST songs in, 'cause I like to talk about K-dramas. Who doesn't? I watch them all day. I might as well talk about them on a Friday night. And it's just really nice. I like to talk about that, but I think I just like to find a balance. I like to talk about concert updates, what bands are doing. So there's a group coming. Obviously, I'm going to try to buy tickets, so I try to tell people where to get tickets from. So I think that's a major thing, and it's just keeping people informed, and I really do enjoy it. I'm hoping to get a couple more interviews with some artists. There are a couple that have been contacted. One that's a bit not many people would know about, but I really, really enjoy and play a lot on my show. And I know they've been doing a few interviews recently, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, hopefully we can interview them.
Yay, that's really cool. So you have like a variety of music, and well, Day 6. That's awesome. Variety of music and information about concerts and possible interviews. But where can people find you?
So we're online at Radio Plus 101.5 FM, and my personal Twitter is at BanksOnK. I have a Facebook and Instagram, but definitely Twitter's my most active one. And then there's my Twitter at DealEQuarterNR, and I basically just retweet everything that I tweet on my personal radio account. So it's up to you which one you want to follow. Obviously, probably the radio station one is better because that's mainly just focused on there. There's a lot less tweets, a lot less fanboying on there, which is mainly my Twitter, as is most K-pop fans. So.
Yes, and everything will be located in the description box below, so make sure to check him out and his radio show as well. All right, so we're gonna go in with his project that you guys will hear at the end. Can you tell everyone what it's about and what inspired you to make it?
So I was put up to the task of making a radio documentary. It's something I've never done before, but I've made a couple of like video documentaries, and something I've never actually done before is make something related to K-pop. And I feel like having such a big social group, mainly most of my friends being K-pop fans, and I think the first thing you talk about is how you got into K-pop, and it kind of changed. Usually, like, it used to be when I met people, it's like, how to get into K-pop, what's your favourite groups, and it kind of like changed into what kind of stereotypes you get. That kind of used to dominate the kind of conversation. So I wanted to investigate that more. I think knowing myself, being labelled as a fanboy, many people look at me and not expecting that I'm a K-pop fan. I think kind of weird. People just like the kind of questions you get. I think we all experience it as K-pop fans. So I just wanted to go deeper into it and just to see people's experiences. I wanted to do it around the time of the BTS concert, which didn't happen unfortunately. So in the end, we just decided to release it, and I'd say it's got some quite good reviews. And I think the main thing is just that we want people to know, well, I want people to know that it's completely normal, like, to be a K-pop fan and to have all these things said about you, and just to raise more awareness of like what impact K-pop can have on people's lives, because many people still don't understand. Even if I tell them 10 times how much of an impact it's had on me, they still don't believe me. So I feel like this is the perfect thing. If people ask you why you're into K-pop and don't believe you, this is the kind of thing you can show to them and say, well, it's not just me, this person feels the same. It kind of just validates your feelings on how much of an impact K-pop can have people's lives. So I think music does that. Music can change people's lives, and I know it's changed mine definitely.
So, thank you for that. And I have one more question for you. I know that you have another project going on, and can you tell us about that website?
Okay, so that's on my personal blogging channel, well, blogging website, and the whole idea of it was inspired mainly by Day 6, but by Korean rock in general, which I explored and have actually found a huge love for. And it's something that I love K-pop, but I've also grown to love the other genres beside of it. So things like Korean R&B and Korean rap and hip hop. So I've decided that I will be doing a Beyond K-pop series that is completely dedicated to all the other genres outside of K-pop, and I'd say the first one's gone down really well. I've got good reviews from it, and it's something that I absolutely love. We've got a couple of other ones coming up. We've got a couple of variety shows that I feel have really shown how much of an impact the Korean music scene has, and it's just to show that Korean music is more than just K-pop. It's kind of that thing again of just proving to people that it's not just K-pop, it's more than it. And I think Korean rock right now is absolutely vibrant. I wouldn't say it's as popular as maybe when Seeing Blue was around 3 years ago, but I say the market and how many groups are out there, there's so many, and I'd say that for other Korean acts as well. We've got so many Korean hip-hop groups, so many bands, so many indie groups that it's just absolutely amazing, and they don't really get as much recognition. So it's kind of just steering people towards the right direction, who they should listen to. We've got a couple of features of artists that I really, really think need more recognition, and they're going to be coming out hopefully inside the next couple of weeks. I'm working on a lot of them. We've got maybe 10 ideas that are going to be coming out that I've written down, and hopefully that'll be good for maybe the next 3 months or so. So they do take quite a while to create, but it's definitely worth making because I love the quality of them at the end. And the first one, which is Korean rock, was something that I've been striving to for a while. So you guys can check that out and tell me what you think, because it's something that I definitely enjoy. If there's another genre maybe that you think I've missed, or maybe that you want to see, maybe there's an artist that I've missed, you could just tell me and I'll make sure to feature them because we don't really want to miss anyone.
Nice. So if you're in, like, is it just mainly rock or like a mixture of like new?
Rock was the first one, and so we've got a couple of different ones. I don't really want to spoil it, but I'm going to say one. So we're going to be doing one. I think maybe the next one's going to be on Show Me the Money. So that's going to be based around the main successful people that have come out of the show and how much of an impact it's had on the Korean music scene and the rap scene. And then there's Korean folk music that's had a really, really big rise inside the recent maybe 2 to 3 years, where a lot of people are listening to it again, and like maybe singers who weren't as popular are becoming popular again. So there's stuff like that. It's not just mainly focused around rock. That was the first week. So we've done rock, we're going to move on, and it's just moving on now into different kind of groups. But I definitely say rock was something that I've been wanting to do, and it's something that I'm really happy to start out on because it's something that I have so much knowledge in. But it's going to be something that's going to help me create a lot of knowledge and hopefully expand my playlist inside my radio show. So you might even hear some Korean folk music if you tune in one time now, because I'm just going to be listening to so much different genres, and it's something that I'm really excited about. But it's not just Korean rock, or it's not just Korean rap, it's just everything that falls outside of K-pop that's just going to be hopefully heightened just that little bit more, so people who want to find good talent just know where to go.
Nice, I like that. So if you want to venture out, not just inside K-pop, but in other genres of Korean music, then you can check out his website. That will also be in the description box below, so you guys can check it out. Okay, so thank you, Ethan, for joining me on my very first interview. And thank you guys for joining us as well. And I hope you guys like this new content. I will hopefully be doing more interviews in the future. And yeah, so Ethan, take it away. Let's go ahead and listen to your podcast.
Hopefully you guys enjoy. This is something that I've been working on for the past 2 to 3 months, and something that I'm extremely proud of. So hopefully you guys will enjoy, and hopefully you'll be able to check out all the other stuff that I do. Obviously, like I said, it's quite a bit, so it's all related to K-pop, and it's all for you guys. It's all for you guys to enjoy and to venture out and in the name of K-pop. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get straight into the documentary.
I found K-pop in sophomore year, and it was really a huge turning point in my life. It became everything.
It's actually very difficult to be a multi-fan.
I've become a more creative guy, more open to fashion and personal care.
K-pop has encouraged me to try and get to know more people.
The idea that the fans are so mean makes me think, well, I don't want to be part of that fandom.
K-pop. Maybe 2 to 3 years ago, you probably wouldn't know what this word means. However, due to the recent outbreak of the K-pop band BTS, it is impossible to not know what the genre is.
Please welcome my close personal friends, BTS.
BTS! The biggest boy band in the world! Here with the world premiere of Fake Love, it's BTS!
And that's our icon. Hi, my name's Ethan Norton. I've been a K-pop fan for 5 years. And last year I was one of the lucky 90,000 people to be at the sold out Wembley Arena to see BTS perform live. And I'm not afraid to admit, it was probably one of the greatest days of my entire life. But being a K-pop fan isn't easy. I can recall countless times of being mocked for being a K-pop fan by other fans inside the community and by those who I just met. Questions about why I'm into this music, do I understand what they're saying? These are common questions that always come up. But how can a genre that portrays such beautiful messages of self-love and inclusion be so criticised by those around the world? Inside today's documentary,
I'm going to investigate those who are affected by these criticisms
and to come to a conclusion on what it's really like to be a K-pop fan inside today's society.
My name's Sarah, and I've been a fan of K-pop since 2012.
How would you describe your time being a K-pop fan?
Kind of mixed, I guess, because it's really great having something you're interested in.
I'm
but
going to investigate those who are affected by these criticisms.
Like, people always ask really weird questions about it, so it always made me feel a bit like I love it, but I also hate it. Most of the kind of negativity comes from like other fans. So you're always told, oh, you like the wrong person, you like the wrong group, or, you know, oh, your favorite in the group is my favorite. It can't be both our favorites. There's a lot of like hate between different groups. Like fan wars is like such a big thing. I've done sort of fan arts of EXO and put them on Instagram and put sort of hashtags so people can find them, and I put K-pop and a lot of like armies, so like BTS fans. I've even had like Red Velvet fans tell me, you know, like, oh, putting that hashtag is misleading because you're trying to say that BTS are in it because BTS are the kings of K-pop, and it does kind of put me off because the idea that the fans are so mean makes me think, well, I don't want to be part of that fandom.
From listening to Sarah, I think it's clear to see there's a huge stigma towards K-pop fans and behind the genre as a whole. But why is this? To find out more, we interviewed UK author of fan studies and Kingston University lecturer Dr. Colette Balmain to find her opinion on the subject. Unfortunately, we could not meet Dr. Colette Balmain, so we conducted this interview via Skype.
Dr. Colette Balmain, I'm a lecturer at Kingston University where I teach media, communication and film.
So your book, Masculinity, Popular Culture and Fandom, touches mainly on K-pop fandoms, focusing on BTS. Why do you feel there's such negative representation when it comes to these type of fans?
I mean, of course, you know, boy bands and musicians generally, a significant part of it has always been about image and always been about desire. Because traditionally the main kind of demographic for boy bands is teenagers. But so the image is part of the package for a boy group. I think there has to be more than that. I think you don't get a fandom as committed to promoting a group if it's just about how they look.
So I've come to realise that for a lot of people, their perceptions of K-pop fans come from Twitter, which is mainly known for the source that K-pop fans are most active on. Why do you feel this is so popular on Twitter?
There's a misunderstanding that didn't always happen, because that has always happened. I think what I see on Twitter a lot is the kind of anti-fans who want to criticise everything. And it's kind of like, my group's better than your group. And that's no difference, is it, from if we take fandom of the football match, it's the same. I think it gets more publicity because what's perceived is that the fans who are doing this are female. Some of these are younger. I think kids might be really, really unhappy. And this is a way of acting out. It's actually very difficult to be a multi-fan because it's just the conflict between the fandoms so strong and so ongoing. What happens with a group that you support is that when that group does well, it kind of self-validates you because you're a fan of a group that does well. So it makes you as a fan feel better. And if your group used to do that and now isn't doing it so much, there's a lot of resentment because it's not so much about the group, it's about you not feeling that sense of achievement that you get vicariously through your group.
Now, during this time of the documentary, the world has faced a fear like no other, known as the coronavirus. Now, all around the world, people are isolating to fit in with the new government's message.
Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
But while the world is at a halt, at 3 a.m. tonight, UK Standard Time, BTS plan to bring people all around the world together with what they're calling Bang Bang Con, an online concert on YouTube to entertain fans and to make up for the cancellation of their world tour. I'll be waking up at this time to see what all the fuss is about. Okay, so it's currently 3 a.m. here at UK Standard Time. Bang Bang Con has just begun, but you wouldn't even guess it. There's currently already 7,000 viewers watching live on YouTube. I have no words for this, it's absolutely amazing. I'm looking at the comment section right now. People are going crazy, there's people saying that they're crying, and just by listening to them singing, it brings back so many memories of just Wembley and such greater times. It's definitely something that I needed, being trapped in my room during this whole quarantine season.
And it really just makes you think about other K-pop fans and how they're coping inside these unprecedented times. So right now we're going to go and interview some K-pop fans via social media, on Skype, on Twitter, and get their opinions on what they're doing during this quarantine season and what impact K-pop has on them.
The kind of impact that K-pop has had on me during quarantine is a hard one to measure, if I'm being honest. I found myself so consumed with the worries and the fears of the pandemic and the adjustments that my personal working and academic life have gone through that I find little time for my hobbies, including K-pop, which is honestly a little saddening to me.
Well, obviously it's been quite hard to stay motivated because I've had to leave university early and work on assignments while being locked up at home essentially. Because it's really important to stay fit and healthy during quarantine, I've been trying to do an hour of K-pop dance a day. So K-pop has, because of the routines, enabled me to stay fit and healthy during quarantine. It's a form of exercise that's really good. And also, because the music's so happy and upbeat, I need happy, upbeat music to distract me from things. So the fact that K-pop is so warm and happy and fun, and artists like BTS are doing online concerts during quarantine, it has really helped boost my mood.
K-pop have encouraged me to do some things I never thought before I was able to do, such as dancing, not only K-pop music but also taking technical classes of hip-hop and contemporary dance. I've become a more creative guy, more open to fashion and personal care. Also, my aesthetic perception of things changed a lot.
K-pop has encouraged me to try and get to know more people. I am not sociable. I have trouble keeping eye contact with people and communicating, but pushed me out of my comfort zone. So whenever someone mentions K-pop, I will try to talk to that person with everything I have. So yeah, it's really helped me get out of the awkwardness.
It has definitely encouraged me to do things that I never thought of before, because I've never travelled to London by myself before, because that would just be so daunting, but I did it because the Super M concert was there, and I was I have been a fan of some of these members for 5 years now, so it's definitely encouraged me to do things that I have not done before.
Now, being a K-pop fan for a long time, I was able to relate to what's been said inside this documentary, and hope that it's able to raise awareness of the impact that K-pop can have on people's lives. And there's one thing that I hope will come out of this documentary. Let it be that music is special, and that K-pop lyrics are so different, and that while there may be haters or antis, that it is no different from any other medium, including fandoms. So please, before you mark the next fan in real life on social media, remember this documentary and remember the struggles that were spoken here today.